Hey everybody, Joe Menza here. Time to do another watercolor painting. I'm going to try to do this one quickly, impressionistically, if that's a word. I've been trying to get some more reds and warm up my paintings a little bit so they're not just all green and brown. And also I'm using a different paper this time. I'm using, I did use this in a river video I did earlier, but this is Strathmore Wind Power. So this paper is a little bit different. It doesn't have the tooth like the other paper does. The paints and water diffuse in this paper in a way that gives your painting sort of a different look to it, which you might want. There are some instances where I want the paint to kind of spread out and to see the little granules in there. So first thing we're going to do is the raw sienna. Just a quick raw sienna wash. Boom, boom, boom. Wash the brush. Get a little bit of blue and light red going. The faster you can do this in a lot of cases, it just really looks more fresh and more spontaneous. Now, I do make these up as I go along, but I have something in mind many times when I'm doing it. Now, this will diffuse more into the paper than the Fabriano that I ordinarily use. And it will create for a nice effect. Now I'm just going to put some of the sky colors down here. I may do water. I don't know. I may call an audible. Sometimes you go too dark with these colors and it don't look good. Sometimes you don't go dark enough and you lose them. Just going to dry crunch in a little just to break this up a little bit. Didn't like the way that was getting there. Okay. So we'll get a little, wanted to do like a bigger mountain here. Bigger mountain range here. And then I'm going to scrape in a little bit to get a little effect of like some snow coming down here. Paper scrapes a little differently than the Fabriano too. Now we'll come back in and we'll let's get a little bit there going. And where is, now I had a tissue, it's no big deal. I mean, you can use any cloth really. I was gonna take and let's take this cloth here. I just want a tissue would be better for this, but I just want to soften the bottom up a little bit here so I can add a little bit of a tree line. Let's get some green going here and just get a little bit of a tree, a little bit, some trees going here just to kind of border that off a little bit. I'm going to get some more raw sienna, put in a little sandbar there, a little brown there. Just kind of tap that in a little bit. Then we'll bring this around just to create a little land mass here. Take some brown, some ultramarine blue. Try to work in some colors here. And put a little bit of grass in there. Scrape in some rocks. just a darker color in there to push that back a little bit and hide a little bit of that. Gives it a little more element of realism. Now I'll put like a little bank in here. Bank of some grasses. And this little bit will kind of sort of match this over here. Scratch in some fresh blades. Cover it up a little bit. And we've got a nice little, almost an islandy type thing there. And we'll take and put in a little bit of a tree right here. A little bit more water. This paper sucks in a lot more water. Gotta have my trees. Gotta have my trees. A little bit of grass down here. Take my card, give her a little scrape. Again, a little more. Touch that up a little bit. And we have the basis for our land mass and trees here. Come in a little bit and kind of define the little peninsulas, the little jetties that are sticking out. A little bit more here. And a little bit more green will tie together, like some green leaves in the tree. But first, we'll take our rigger brush very quickly, and we'll do some branch work. Boom, boom, boom. Always have enough water. You need a lot more water on these rigger brush. This is a number 3 rigger. I find this is the best one for doing branch. If you want to do fine work, obviously, you go to like a 1 or a 0. And then when I still have a little paint on, I'll come back and I'll put some little fine things in there. A couple little more branches there. And that'll do it on that tree. Throw that in the bucket. Let's get a good amount of cad yellow and a tiny bit of blue on the brush. And go in and just smash that in. Nice. And then we'll add a little bit more blue. Put that in, sort of an intermediate. And then add some neutral tint or Payne's gray. And put that where it looks like it would be darker on the tree, which is more toward the interior and the bottom. I'm going to go too dark. We want kind of these greens to match up a little bit. Not like we're interior decorators. We're matching things in our little room that we're making here. And I'll use up a little bit of this, make a little bit more grass. And that's it for that. Put a little green on the brush, on the rigger brush, and just throw in a little bit more. That's it. Don't need much of that. And let's see what we got so far. This one here I don't have attached to the board. I have it on its pad. Kind of get a general idea of what's on there. I don't think we need a whole heck of a lot more. Really, we can probably throw in a couple of birds and call it finished. Not really much needed on this one. You could put in a couple of sailboats maybe or something like that. All right, so here's the finished painting. You can see here, here's the mountain with the scratches from the card. Little birds flying to put a little life in the picture. There's those little jetties and peninsulas. And this is what I was talking about here. I'm going to zoom in real close. You can see that granulation from the paint. And it creates a really nice effect, I think. Here's this area with the tree. You can see that again over here. I scratched in a couple little extra rocks over here. And here's our tree. That's it. That's the painting. Thanks again for watching.